Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to do another conspiracy theory slash pseudoscience, the Mothman prophecies. Okay guys, welcome back. So I know this has been another request of a lot of you guys here on the channel, and I'm very happy to get to it. I did, of course, as you guys know, the minute I see you guys make a suggestion, I immediately jot it down, and then when I get to it, I do my research, and then I come on here and we discuss it. So the Mothman is very interesting. It's a very interesting tale. Obviously, there's a movie about it starring Richard Gere and Deborah Messing. The movie says based on true events, but it's not really based on true events. Obviously, the events that happen are in question. Basically, the story goes like this. Some time ago, 1966, there was a couple at Point Pleasant, West Virginia, having a good time, enjoying time together. Parking, back in those days, parking your car was the big deal. Parking your car, having maybe a picnic, or if it's at night, maybe sitting in the car watching the sunset, that sort of thing. And during their time together, they noticed two red eyes watching them, and they got so scared that they took off, and whatever it was followed them to the city limits. At which point it went back or took off or left. They reported it to the cops or the sheriff or whatever the case may be, and he went back and he investigated the area they were at, and he saw when he got there, he saw some what he believed to be evidence of something taking off, maybe in flight. Obviously, the story was ridiculed in the press. Sometime thereafter, a gentleman named John Keel, who wrote the book, The Mothman Prophecies, originally went there because he was working on a book to do UFOs. And when he got there, he was sent there to inquire about the Mothman prophecies. Didn't seem too excited at the time because he was working on his UFO book. And when he got there, the more he questioned and investigated people and the events, the more he got really, really involved and taken into the whole lore or the Mothman prophecies. To the point that he started to kind of, I don't want to say lose his insanity, but he began to report phenomena and paranormal activity within that town. Like he felt that town was like a paranormal vortex, were his words. And he began to get prophecies of certain events that were going to happen. One of them, most notably, that he reported was being told that when President Johnson at the time was going to turn on his Christmas lights or something along those lines, the whole East Coast would black out. And he was given a date, and on the date that it was supposed to happen, he sat in his living room waiting. He had all the things necessary to be prepared for a blackout: candles, water, whatever the case may be. And when time passed, it never happened. However, what did happen was, over at Point Pleasant in West Virginia, I guess a bridge. It's a bridge called the Silver Bridge, which crosses the Ohio River between Gallipolis, Ohio, and Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So apparently that bridge collapsed, and this happened December 15th of that year. So basically the big deal here is that when the bridge collapsed, 67 people fell into the water. I think 46 died. And out of those 46, there were a number of people who were people that reported the Mothman prophecy. Coincidence? Probably. I mean, he was given a prophecy that didn't come to pass. He felt that the bridge collapsing was relevant to the Mothman prophecies or the Mothman and things of that nature, and the whole paranormal vortex of activity that he believes happens in Point Pleasant. So, very interesting, because now, after doing my research, and another thing that some people seem to really take this seriously, especially over there, because nobody likes to talk about the Mothman, and apparently, who are from Point Pleasant, because of that bridge collapse. A lot of people are very, what's what I'm looking for? Superstitious. A lot of people are very superstitious of the events and feel that the people who died on the bridge collapse that reported the Mothman prophecies, that was kind of like their undoing, was reporting the Mothman. So they don't really talk about it anymore. Now, I've never seen the movie. I'm going to consider seeing it now, since after reading this very interesting story. And, it's again, it's one of those things, cryptozoology. Nobody's ever, some people have reported to see it. Apparently, some of the people who reported seeing it died in that bridge collapse. Does he exist? I don't know. Again, you guys know me. Don't like to say 100% certain that it doesn't happen or it doesn't exist, but I'm never going to believe 100% that it does. It's open for debate. Now, but nonetheless, the lore is very interesting. When you look, when you consider that some people don't even want to talk about it, even if they might have seen him, because they're scared. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy. And the other interesting thing too is, apparently that town, that vicinity in West Virginia, is very susceptible to also UFO sightings. Obviously, the Mothman's there. There have been reports in the past of mutilated animals, specifically dogs. So it sounds like a pretty, I don't want to say an interesting place, but it sounds like there's some stuff that goes down there. Whether or not it's a Mothman, whether or not it's UFOs, or both, that remains to be seen. Anything in this world is possible, I suppose. Some things are a little bit less likely than others, but nonetheless, I gotta say, it was an interesting read. So I'm gonna share the two links that I read about this stuff. One of them is actually an old article from IGN where they were talking about the movie at the time. This was 13 years ago, and they give a good description of the whole tale and the whole story. Not based on the movie, based on what is considered the real events. And so that's a good backstory. And then, of course, there's the book, and then there's the movie. So there's a lot of good stuff to look into if you're really interested in this topic. But, the Mothman, obviously, it has a bit of a tale. We don't hear about it a lot anymore. Obviously, we probably hear more about it if you live in areas where it's been reported, specifically West Virginia. But it's still one of those pseudo topics / conspiracy theories and cryptozoology topics that we don't have an answer to, and we probably never will. But it's fun to talk about, and again, like I said, it is a very interesting read. If you don't know about the Mothman prophecies, if nothing else, if you just want to read something that sounds pretty cool and sounds interesting, read it. I thought it was a pretty good read to know the backstory behind that. I didn't know there was such a big backstory behind it, but apparently there is, and it dates back as far as 1966. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Mothman, we'll have to wait and see if anybody ever discovers him. Until then, this is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.